XRP has stolen the show, with Bitcoin pretty much just going sideways here at the $100,000 level. And the thing that's really interesting about XRP right now is that we've got a path for XRP to potentially hit $100, $20, or a couple of crazy targets that we're going to be talking about in this YouTube video. And I want to substantiate them for you. I want to tell you why they might happen, why they might not happen as well. As we know, the XRP army is really, really emotional. They really carry a lot of baggage because of their horrible financial decisions. But we're not worried about that. We don't talk to those people. We're only talking to people who are interested in making money. And sometimes there are going to be some harsh truths along the way. So if that kind of thing sounds interesting to you, definitely make sure to smash up the likes and subscribe as you do come into this YouTube video. And the number one big thing that I want to talk to you guys about is this massive consolidation that XRP had going back from 2014 to 2017, basically, when it started to really take off. This sideways consolidation range that lasted many, many years ended up resulting in a 5,600% price move for XRP above its all-time high. And that's a really, really big move. It's a very, very extreme bit of price action right here. And the thing is we've done the same thing again right now. We've basically traded sideways from 2018 all the way right up until here in 2024, right? So we've actually really, I mean, we've started rallying now, like in 2025 as well, right? So it's been many years again, and if we are going to get the same kind of percentage gain, that's where this ridiculous $182 price target comes from. Now, obviously, this is enough for XRP army, right? Like, they'll just kind of stop there and then get the lotion out and get to work. But, you know, the reality of these markets is that, you know, there are market caps, right? And if we take a look at, you know, what these assets actually would be worth if, you know, if this were to happen, we can look at this on the total on the top assets by market cap page here, you know, and we can get an idea of things, right? Bitcoin right now is worth $2 trillion as a market. All of the gold in existence is worth $18.5 trillion, right? XRP, you know, at $182 would be, you know, just absolutely insane. It wouldn't make any sense at all. We can get a rough idea of it if we just come over here to CoinMarketCap and take a look at XRP right now. Its market cap is 192 billion, right? So if XRP hits $30, it's worth as much as Bitcoin is right now, right? So just put it that way. You know, and that's just at $30. That's not at $100. That's not at 150, right? So the math just doesn't math, you know, from quite a few different perspectives in terms of XRP getting to absolutely gargantuan price levels. But there are a few more, and especially with this pump that we've seen right now, that are actually a lot more plausible, and there's still massive, massive percentage gains away. So I do want to cover them with you in this YouTube video. The thing that we need to note about this rally for XRP, specifically the one that we've seen just now, where XRP is now finding itself above $3, which is absolutely fantastic, is that this rally, you know, has been punctuated continuously with pullbacks, right? There have been really nice pullbacks on the way up, you know, and it's the same thing that I've been saying about the consolidation as well, right? It is exceedingly rare that I say nice things about XRP, but as I always remind you, you know, if there's money to be made, it really doesn't matter what, you know, I like to have fun with in terms of talking shit. You know, if there's money to be made, I'm going to sit up and I'm going to pay attention. And the thing about XRP is it doesn't really, you know, rally up in very strong ways like this and then stay up. You know, usually if it rallies up like this, it just, you know, drops the ball, you know, very, very shortly thereafter. And there's so much evidence of this, right? I mean, you can see this all throughout XRP's history, you know, especially over these last years. You know, you might get a big pump, but you're going to get a really big dump afterwards every single time. And just none of these pumps will hold. They just don't hold. It's just all manipulated price action, and that's why I don't. There's a lot of reasons I don't like XRP, but that's one of the main ones. It's a really not the asset that you think you're buying. You're being, you know, manipulated in more ways than one, and the people who buy it usually are too naive to know about it. But what's undeniable is that that's not the case right now. Okay, that's not the case right now, and that's why I was sitting up, paying attention, making a bunch of videos on this. You guys already know the deal. When there's shit going down, when there's something big in the market, a lot of money being made, I'm here telling you guys what I think about that and how I want to position myself to make money off that in the future. But you know, right here, you know, sideways price action for XRP, very, very strong sign here to me, indicating that you know, that next pump was coming. You know, and also just very healthy price action, right? I mean, yes, you're raising a bit of the rally, but you're really just kind of moving sideways, and on the way up, you're continuing to get these really, really nice healthy pullbacks. There isn't a whole lot more that you can ask for, so definitely a really good sign. It's falling into EMA support on the hourly time frame here as well, which is absolutely fantastic. You got a 45% rally across only 3 days, but got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here pullbacks, which I do think is definitely very, very good for the market. Now, the best thing about all of this is that we did also retest this $2.60 price level, and I want to show you what that looks like right here on this chart, because it's a really, really important price level that XRP did manage to backtest, which I think is absolutely fantastic. This is the resistance level that XRP was battling a little bit earlier. And actually, if we zoom out and take a look at this price level throughout history, let's see, is there anything that's gone on over here? Not really. You are getting some candles opening and closing, so I mean that's kind of the best that you can get in such astronomically high price areas. But it's basically Bitcoin's chart, right? Previously XRP had a ton of resistance over here. It managed to get back up here, and this time it didn't just absolutely shit the bed and die. In this case it was only a 34% drop, which is totally reasonable for me. In the crypto market, I'm very, very okay with a 30-40% drop. And then you get that big explosion. So it's basically in that kind of price discovery mode now, more or less at an all-time high here against the dollar. This is minus inflation, by the way, right? I mean, inflation, if you're judging these coins with inflation, they need to be maybe $5-6 by now, in order to break those all-time highs. But in just in terms of kind of what we're seeing right here, definitely a really, really healthy explosion up, with a most importantly, very, very healthy back test of this kind of $2.70, $2.60 kind of general price range, giving XRP that launch pad to move up. And these are things that validate movements, right? The reason I'm talking about everything except for the current price action so far is because if we just skip straight to that stuff at the very beginning, we're not going to have all the context of what happened historically. We're not going to have the context of what brought us here, right? It's not enough. It's not enough to just walk into a fucking room and evaluate what's in front of you and not bother to understand the history. You're never going to understand exactly what's going on if you don't know how you got there. And it's really, really important in market trends, because if you can identify, things that tell you that this trend is healthy, like the kind of back test that we're talking about right now, that's going to do a lot to tell you that you're locked in, you're good, and this is kind of realistic, healthy price action. So I think that's absolutely phenomenal. The thing is that now we've got other kind of test ranges that we could hit. This kind of 618 pocket, 0.5 pocket sort of lines up with our $2.86 price level. So that's going to be interesting, for some people potentially looking to buy. But obviously, the main reason that we're seeing XRP move up, is because of their partial legal win over the SEC. It's interesting because they did move forward. The SEC did move forward in their last days before Gary Gensler steps down, did move forward to file XRP as a security, which is not good for XRP. But despite that, clearly the market just doesn't really care. I think the market understands that the SEC is not really going to win what they're putting forward here. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but certainly the probabilities don't look good for them right now. And then just growing optimism for pro-crypto U.S. regulations, right? I mean, everybody is up Trump's ass talking about how Trump's going to be launching a reserve with Solana and XRP and Bitcoin and your local, favorite shit coin on pump.fun, right? So everybody's getting behind Trump on that. Whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know, and I absolutely don't care, because I don't think that kind of stuff is going to be relevant to us. It'll be fun for a headline, right? People will talk about it, but I really don't think it's going to affect anything in the market. But clearly a lot of optimism here in this market for XRP, and that brings us to where we are right now, which is, this thing is in price discovery mode pretty much right now. It's really never traded in these price ranges before. We do have the previous all-time high from 2017, 2018 that we're dealing with at the moment as a bit of resistance, but I mean, what resistance, right? Like, we've already gotten rejected once, and I mean, this could have turned into a really big rejection, but it didn't. It stopped right here. You can barely see it. It was a 5% drop. It took 3 hours, and then we're done. And so if you're looking at it from that kind of perspective, I mean, it's looking good. It's looking pretty healthy. I think it might actually depend a little bit on things like traditional finance. Obviously, the S&P 500 is looking very, very good. Still looking very, very good. The dollar has moved up massively, but it hasn't hurt these markets, which is absolutely fantastic. And Bitcoin itself, which I think is the primary thing that XRP needs to be healthy. Bitcoin is also looking pretty good, right? We haven't talked about Bitcoin too much in this video, but Bitcoin continues to kind of consolidate sideways at this $100,000 price level. It's managed to find a little bit of support down at about 98. It's back tested some old areas of resistance. We found resistance right here previously. Now we're finding support here, and we're back to testing this $100,000 price level, right? So obviously there's a little bit of price suppression here, but for the most part, I wouldn't even call it manipulation or anything. This is just the $100,000 price level. So it's going to take a little bit of steam to break. I don't think it's going to take much more, and if Bitcoin can get that explosion, then that's going to be open season for XRP, right? I don't see how it can get better for XRP from that point onwards. And it's clearly gone parabolic, right? So this thing can get much crazier, much quicker. There are a few different perspectives that we can kind of use to calculate this. The first thing we can do is, first of all, we looked at this 5,600% gain. Instead, if we look at the $3.22 gain, which is the price increase that happened from the previous all-time high, and then we extrapolate that for another breakout point, that gives us a speculative target of $6.46, which is totally 100%, 500% very, very realistic and reasonable. I know that it's only a 2x gain away, and it's not even a 2x gain away actually. And if you're in XRP, you want a lot more money than just to double. But again, it's like I said at the beginning of the video, what's realistic is not necessarily going to be what you want to hear. And if that's a problem for you, then obviously you're not going to find yourself on this YouTube channel. But actually, if you appreciate that because you respect your fucking money, then this is home for you. Welcome. Make sure you subscribe, like the channel, do all that good stuff. And while you are down there, there are a ton of free bonuses worth checking out in the description when you get trading using these exchanges below. All you've got to do is start trading after you make your deposit, and they're going to give you a ton of free cash depending on how much you trade and deposit with. That's just extra free money that you can throw back into the market. Any profits that you generate are going to be yours to withdraw, which is super, super cool. So check them out. If you're not from a restricted region, always check your country's local laws and regulations. But really, really cool offers here. Bybit is also offering a Bybit debit card, which you can use globally all around the world. Pretty sure it's a Visa or a MasterCard card. I keep forgetting, but it works flawlessly. Very, very cool indeed. So well worth checking those out if you are allowed to. But and especially for XRP, that's just free money to trade XRP with, right? So super, super cool stuff there. But just looking at this market, if this thing does, kind of continue to move here, like I said, $3.23, $3.22, very, very easy, digestible price move, highly, highly likely to happen. Anything more extreme, I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying that it's less likely to happen, right? And things that look more obvious, it looks more obvious that we can pull a 2x than we can pull a 10x, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that should just be simple probabilities to you guys. And the other thing that I want to point out, because a lot of people have been talking about it, is this 7-year pennant. The thing about this pennant is, if we're measuring this from dollar gain again, $3.20 roughly, that's more or less going to put us where we are right now, because the hilarious thing about this pennant is that we broke out of it at the same level that we entered it. Which, you would expect that. That's kind of normal. But it does also just, highlight how absolutely fucking dead this market has been for, basically 2018 all the way to 2024 is a solid kind of 7 years time frame, where this market has just been doing nothing. And I think that's why we're seeing, quite low, meager targets here. In terms of percent, it's a little bit more interesting, especially from that breakout point. It puts us at $22. This is a hell of a lot more realistic, in my opinion, but it's still completely unrealistic, because it still puts XRP, if we bring it back to CoinMarketCap, it still puts XRP's market cap at about 1.7, 1.9. I'm sorry, just something crazy. I'm talking out of my ass. I can't say the numbers properly, but it would put XRP basically at about Bitcoin's market cap, right? Like 1.7 trillion, something like that. Very, very high, basically as big as Bitcoin is right now. And just the way for you to visualize this, as a thought experiment, is just think of how much space Bitcoin takes up in global culture right now. Not very much, but at the same time quite a lot. And, given that Bitcoin takes up that much space culturally, in conversations and finance, that's at a market cap right now of 1.9 trillion. Yeah, basically rewind the clock a few months ago and it was 1.5, 1.4, it was 1 trillion, right? So these are important figures to be keeping in mind, because what that tells you is XRP, if it were to reach similar, kind of market cap levels, would become as culturally relevant as Bitcoin is today. And I don't see that happening. XRP Army probably will, but they're also deeply invested in a coin that's not making them money for many years. So at this point, if you still hold it, you've got to be delusional, right? So there's obviously going to be a bit of that. I know that they're very happy with their gains. Good for them. It's very, very good, especially people that have kind of made profits off this. The problem that I've always had is that XRP just moves too slowly. Other coins are making money in the meantime. And on balance, you probably would have done much, 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 much better. If you were not in XRP and if you were instead just in Bitcoin, for example, for all of this time. But even that picture is starting to change, and I want to show this to you right here because that is something which is getting flipped on its head as well. And this is the number one thing that'll make me shut up, is XRP's Bitcoin chart right here, because this is kind of, the ultimate, like, get your fucking lotion out, this is crazy bull case right here. If XRP can really quite convincingly get above these resistance levels and shoot up, I mean, it could gain so much against Bitcoin. I firmly believe that this will not happen, but if it's a big deal, right? Pardon me, it's a big deal. I mean, that's like a 7.4 times gain against Bitcoin that XRP could be yet to make. If it does end up performing really, really well. So I think that's definitely interesting. As for what to do right now, obviously aping in isn't necessarily the smartest thing to do. XRP does tend to go sideways a little bit after it pulls off a big price move. I don't know if this is where the sideways move is going to start, but it makes sense that it starts around here. This is, roughly its previous all-time high. It's already moved up by about 45% in 3 days, as we said earlier. So, there's a lot that's telling us that XRP might be ready to cool down. It's at quite a high price level. We're expecting these kind of price moves to get a little bit less intense with time, not necessarily more intense. So it might end up going sideways here. It might go higher and then go sideways. I don't know. However, what I feel pretty confident about is, XRP, it has, quite realistic, kind of price action lately where it's basically going to come out of a, very long-term kind of consolidation, and then it'll consolidate in shorter time frames, right? So here, take a look at this. This is basically that ultra long-term consolidation right down here. You can barely even see it. It's so flat on the chart. If we make it logarithmic, you can appreciate the scale of this a little bit better. But what's really interesting is that as soon as we come out of it, we do enter, next periods of consolidation, but they just don't last very long, right? This one lasted about 5 days. This one lasted about 6 days. This one lasted maybe just 1 or 2, a day and a half. And then this one, by comparison, lasted 43 days, right? So very, very typical. It's just like Bitcoin. You see short-term consolidation, and then you see long-term consolidation. And so I would only be expecting short-term consolidation at this stage. I wouldn't expect it to take very long. I think that, quite frankly, by the beginning of the next trading week on Monday, which is, I don't know, Monday 21st or something, I would actually, I wouldn't be surprised if whatever XRP needs to do is done by then, and then XRP is ready to kind of rally up by then. And that's also pretty much when Trump becomes president, if I'm not mistaken. So big day in the calendar, for a lot of different reasons. Could that be good for crypto? I mean, I don't know, but this whole rally kicked off as soon as Trump was elected. Clearly it's tied to Trump, and I think, maybe, I don't know. It could be a sell the news event. It probably is, just going off history. It probably is a sell the news event, but I don't necessarily think it's that simple. And that's why I'm going to come back and talk to you about it right here on this YouTube channel. So if you have enjoyed this stuff, you know exactly what to do. Check out those beautiful links in the description with those sponsors. If you want to check them out, get that free cash and start trading. Again, all you got to do is deposit and start trading using the links here, and then they'll give you free cash to trade with on top. Any profits you make are going to be yours to withdraw. Super, super cool. Again, only check them out if you're not from a restricted region. Always check your country's local laws and regulations. But with that, I really hope you have enjoyed this video. You know what to do if you have. Smash up those likes, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.